it took us a while to understand what metacognition really was because a lot of the information that we found online was really complex. So we really had to dissect this information and put it back together in order for ourselves to even understand it. So we had to do the same thing for the class because they would not have understood everything that we had to. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Now, leveling up. Which of the many scaffolding assignments?
So the assignment for that was most useful for me was definitely the free write because kind of what I was just saying. When the opportunity came up to free write about metacognition, this was kind of earlier when when our habits of mind were given to us. I thought I knew what it was, and then I started to write, and then my free write, and then I realized I didn't really know what it was at all. Because I only understood a few different aspects of it. So I had to go back and do a lot of my own research. And that's when I really understood myself what it was. So to me, that was definitely the most helpful. And I understand things a lot better when I free write about them, just because I get all my ideas down and I get a full understanding of what I do and don't understand.
What did I say?
The chart.
Okay, the chart. So the essay map that you had us do a while ago, that was as simple as it may be. It really was the most beneficial and important one to me because that kind of got the basis for me of exactly what we are doing. We had 3 members when we did create the first time, and you see it's just 2 of us now. But that back then, it actually got me thinking about exactly what we needed to do, and revised it once it just came down to 2 of us to have a more concise meaning of our 3 main subjects and then significance, introduction, and conclusion. So that was very important that we did that, and it really helped us out, me in particular.
Yeah, and through that we kind of, when we were talking about that before, we realized that that's also a part of metacognition because I realized that it's one of my strengths for me to free write about something to understand it. For him, it's better for him to write it in a more structural, yeah. So our lightning talk, we think when we discussed about it after, we thought that it went really well, and we thought that we hit everything that we really wanted to cover and get through to the class. They didn't say as much as we wanted them to. They didn't really ask questions, but to me it seemed like it was because they really understood what we were saying because we gave
as much information as we can.
We gave so many examples of how they can get our badge. We're not sure if a lot of people are going to really apply. A lot of groups are going to apply for our badge quite yet because what we're asking for is kind of a really specific order to follow and criteria to meet. So unless the group was really organized and did everything thoroughly like they were supposed to, but sometimes it didn't work out, then we think that people kind of listened to what we required and said to themselves, I need to do this for the next project because, first of all, it'll probably come out a lot better if I do follow these steps, and second of all, I'll be able to apply for this badge and get it because we definitely will not just give it away. We really want evidence for this badge.
Yeah. And, it's not meant to seem like a hard ask, but it's not that hard to give us what we want.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to know, how did you think about your thinking? How did you write your paper? What was going through your mind when you wrote the paper, when you collaborated with your groups? Just, period, what was you thinking? Thinking about thinking, in our title name. So that's pretty much what we want.
Yeah, and really covering each step, like self-awareness, recognizing themselves, planning, reflecting, revising, and how they're going to use this in the future, which, yeah.
All right. And habit of mind. So for my habit of mind that we used in the paper, even though we use all of them, honestly. The one that particularly stands out for me would be flexibility, for two reasons. One is the paper, research and the paper. It took a lot of research to figure out exactly what metacognition was, and from our works cited or our work that we researched, it could have been, it was confusing. It really was at first, but then I just sat down, thought about it, and it just came to us exactly what metacognition was.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, not to make it seem like we dumbed it down, but we had to dumb it down for us to understand it before we can explain it to somebody else. And I think we did a good job at it in our paper and in talking about it. I think we got to the point where we can just give you the basis of it right then and there. Somebody asks, what is metacognition? Thinking about thinking. How can you better yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. That's my habit of mind, flexibility.
So, the one that I related with, I didn't think I would at first, but after I heard Engagement's lightning talk, and how they mainly covered how they used outside sources to help them, like with revisions and stuff. I realized that that's something that we did a lot. I did that a lot, and also another part of Engagement that we used was that we lost one of our group members, so we were told that we didn't need to have as many words because we lost a group member. So our word count went from
2,200
to 16.
to 16.
Yeah.
And that sounded like it was okay. Yes, we ain't got to do that much. But when we got to thinking about it,
we were like, we can't. This essay would not make sense if we did not include everything that we did. So, we put in the extra work and the extra research and the extra time to put in those extra words and perfect those extra words in order for the class to really understand what it is, or else they really would not have. So, thanks. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.